Hello everyone and welcome to the 1 p.m. news on Canal, the English. Works are reportedly advancing at the new Omnisport Stadium in Limbe in the southwest region of Cameroon. The Minister of Urban Development and Housing was on an inspection visit to the site over the weekend. Clarity is steadily unfolding regarding the identity of contestants for this year's Cup of Cameroon final. Ivory Coast has held a bitterly contested presidential election, the first since the civil war ended in 2011. The poll was marred by prominent opposition candidates pulling out, citing widespread irregularities. Those were our top stories. The details when we come back. Information this between accounts chambers and representative of civil society organizations have gone on the way here in the city of Douala. For 3 days, participants would exchange on pertinent issues, among them the intervention of accounts chamber in terms of territorial collectivity, the role of parliament, and recent reports of account chambers. Exposés would equally focus on missions, organization, and the functioning of the accounts chamber. We still talk about the appointment of governors here in this edition of the news, and we focus on the SD of Mezam in the Northwest region, who is henceforth the governor for the South region. He was presiding at our divisional security meeting hosted by Bamenda Otu when the news broke out. Annie Collins, Annie reports.
This is the man to whom the destiny of the South region of Cameroon has been entrusted by President Paul Biya. Felix Ngelengele, who up to Friday, October 23, was a senior divisional officer for Mezam, is a senior civil administrator, native of the Upper Nyong division of the East region.
I was not expecting such a distinction from the head of state. Such level of confidence bestowed on me, on my humble person. I'm really impressed. I'm really grateful to the head of state. I will try to do my best to be up to the task as usual.
Hundreds of colleagues and well-wishers thronged his Bamenda upstation residence in defiance of the rainy Friday evening. Though the laureate of the day was not in, they waited anxiously till he returned. And he was not at home because the news fell when he was chairing the divisional security meeting for Mezam hosted by Bamenda 2 subdivision.
As a dear of Bamenda 2, I'm very happy, elated and satisfied that the appointment has come at a time when the present governor, that's the SDO who is now the governor, was presiding over the administrative coordination and security meeting which held in Bamenda 2 for the past 2 days.
The governor, as of now, who was my SDO, was a very level-headed man, simple and down to earth, collaborated with everybody, and was very lively with everybody. And I think that all of us, I can say that for all of us in Mezam, we had a very good working environment with him.
Some traditional rulers quickly made it to the residence of Felix Ngelengele, to whom they poured their blessings. It should be recalled that Mezam, which has 7 subdivisions, has been a departure point for future governors in Cameroon, as it is seen as the thermometer from where the temperature of the Northwest region is measured.
Works are unfolding or advancing at the new Omnisport Stadium at Ngeme in Limbe, Southwest region of Cameroon. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Jean-Claude Benjo, was on an inspection tour to the site. More with Stephen Kam.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Jean-Claude Mbouanchou, was during the weekend on a working visit to Limbe. He officially launched works for the construction of roads leading to the Omnisport Stadium in the Ngeme village situated in the Limbe 2 subdivision. A visit on the field that enabled the boss of Housing and Urban Development to verify the state of advancement of construction works. 6 roads in total shall be constructed, comprising of 1 main road, 4 secondary roads, and 1 extra road that will go round the stadium of 20,000 seats. A large parking and green spaces shall also be constructed on a surface area of about 60 square meters. Jean-Claude Mbouanchou called on the engineers and the other workers to be diligent in their work to respect the terms of the contract to give in the best quality so as to accomplish their mission within the deadlines. They have 1 week to communicate to us the teams that will work on this project for approval. This working visit of the Minister of Housing and Urban Development falls in line with preparations ahead of the Football African Nations Cup to be organized next year in Cameroon.
Clarity is steadily unfolding regarding the identity of contestants for this year's Cup of Cameroon final. The first leg semi-final confrontations the weekend. OMS of Lome beat Botafogo of Douala 2-0, while Future FC of Banjul and Panther of Ndih suffered a 1-1 draw. More with Tariq Divanjinho.
Union Mouvement Sportif of Lome have inched a step closer towards obtaining a ticket for the 2015 Cup of Cameroon final. UMS hammered visiting Botafogo of Douala 2-0 in the first leg semi-final fixture enacted Sunday at the Municipal Stadium in Jombe, Penja. It was good news for fans of the club, which was kicked out of the same race last year at the same semi-final stage by Cotton Sport of Garoua. While UMS founder Pierre Quemo and supporters have been rejoicing over the halfway success, officials of Botafogo are heaping accusations of match fixing on the referee Mwanjo Kala, faulting him for favoring the hosts. Meantime, in the second semi-final clash, Future FC of Banjul and Panther of Ndih settled on a 1-1 draw. Panther will be banking on the precious away goal when they receive Future in the dicey return leg confrontation this weekend in Bagante. Panther, who lost the 2014 edition of the Cup final to Cotton Sport of Garoua, can boast of 2 previous Cup of Cameroon wins. The date for the 56th final remains unknown, as it traditionally depends on the President of the Republic's agenda.
Football election fever is gradually on the rise once again across Cameroon as agitations regarding who will succeed General Pierre Semenge as president of the Professional Football League begin. Tariq Divanjinho once more.
Electricity is expected to gain rapid momentum as stakeholders fold slaves to challenge rivals at the upcoming battle for the succession of General Pierre Semenge at the helm of the so-called Professional Football League of Cameroon. After weeks of a sustained information blackout, trickling information from the Yaoundé head office of the National Division 1 and 2 championships management body indicates that the highly awaited election will hold sometime in December. According to our sources, members of the Electoral Commission to supervise the poll will be designated next month. In the meantime, and pending the formal reception of candidature files, nascent signals suggest that Union Douala board chair Frank Happy, New Stars president Faustin Domke, as well as little-known Vogo Saint-Favlien are bracing up to vie for the covert job. Concomitantly, officials at the league have expressed the wish to have the new season debut in November to enable Cameroon's championship calendar match the international schedule. But all that depends on when President Biya will decide to preside over this year's Cup of Cameroon final.
Cameroon has won a silver medal at the 2015 Football African Nations Cup for the visually impaired. 6 nations participated at the first edition of the international competition that was organized for the first time in Cameroon. Steve Fonkam has the rest of that story.
Jersey number 9 for Morocco, Hatab, best player and best scorer of this first edition of the Football African Nations Cup for the visually impaired, scored the 2 lone goals of the final opposing Morocco to Cameroon. Thanks to Hatab, Morocco qualifies for the upcoming 2016 Paralympic Games to take place in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Cameroon, one of the best teams in the competition and undefeated since the beginning of the competition, were demystified by Morocco 2-0 at the finals, scoring 1 goal in the first half and the other during the second half. However, Cameroon holds the record of the highest goals scored in a match, 5-0 against Ivory Coast. Cameroon's goalkeeper, Nyobia, was also awarded the trophy of Best Goalkeeper of the first edition of the Football African Nations Cup for the visually impaired. On the other hand, Mali mounted the podium with the bronze medal after winning Senegal 1-0. This maiden edition of the Football African Nations Cup for the visually impaired saw the participation of 6 nations: Ivory Coast, Egypt, Mali, Senegal, the champion Morocco and the vice-champion Cameroon. This international competition ran from October 16th to October 26th, 2015 under the auspices of the Vice President of the Olympic Committee and Minister of Labour and Social Security, Grégoire Owona, alongside the Minister of Youth and Sports, Bidung Pat.
Que je termine mon propos en souhaitant à chacun et à chacune de vous un bon retour dans vos pays respectifs.
And we take you out of Cameroon. Ivory Coast has held a bitterly contested presidential election, the first since the civil war ended in 2011. The poll was marred by prominent opposition candidates pulling out, citing widespread irregularities. President Alassane Ouattara was running for a second term in the world's largest cocoa producer. And we take you to Congo-Brazzaville, where they have held a referendum on constitutional changes that will allow President Denis Sassou Nguesso to stand for a third term. Opposition leaders called for boycott after a number of protesters died on clashes with security forces. Under the current constitution, the president cannot seek re-election because he is over the age of 70 and has already served 2 mandates. And we take you to South Africa, where some South African students are continuing a university fee protest despite the president agreeing to freeze increases. Students from Wits University are now demanding for quality education for all. Crystal Katala completes her story.
The protest against university fee increase started last week when university management announced a 10 to 12% increase in fees. They have been the biggest student protest to hit the country since apartheid ended in 1994. Last week, police used stun grenades and water cannon to stop a group of students breaking onto government buildings in Pretoria. Which universities has said they needed to increase fees to maintain standards and that they had hit by a fall in government subsidies. President Jacob Zuma agreed to provide more government money for universities in a private meeting with student representatives and university management on Friday. In that meeting, the government said it did not know how much they would pay or where the money would come from. One of the attendees, Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Town, said so.
Thanks for watching, and do stay in the company of our programs. Good day.